Nomenclature with covalent bonding. We put this information into our foldable. There's two different types of naming, binary molecular compounds and acids. And there are two different types of acids. You have binary acids, which would be hydrogen and something else. And so you would just say hydro, the base name, and then change the ending to ic, acid. An oxyacid is a polyatomic, so you would have hydrogen, an element, and an oxygen. If the polyatomic ends in 8, you would change it to ic and then add the word acid. If it ends in ite, you would change the root to us and add the word acid. For binary molecular compounds, you have two nonmetals, so you name the first element using a prefix only if there's a subscript, and then you would use a prefix, the root of the second element, and change the ending to IDE. So if we were to look at these examples, in number 1 we have binary covalent because we have two nonmetals. Nitrogen does not have a subscript, so I don't need a prefix, so it would just be nitrogen, di for 2, oxide. In number 2, nitrogen now has a subscript, so it needs a prefix. So it would be dinitrogen, and then 5 is penta, so it's pentoxide. 3, 4, and 5 all start with H's, so these are acids. Number 3 is a binary acid because there's only two capital letters, so I'm just going to say hydro. The root word, or the root for the element, phosphorus, and then change the ending to ic and add the word acid, so it's hydrophosphoric acid. Number 4, I have three capital letters, so I know it's a polyatomic or an oxyacid. I look on page 224 at my polyatomics. NO2 is nitrite, so this is nitrous acid. Number 5, I have three capital letters, so it's an oxyacid because it starts with hydrogen. BrO3 is bromate, so this would be bromic acid. Alright, when you go to write the formulas, you don't cross charges for binary, but for acids, you cross charges. So the only time you don't cross charges is if you see a prefix. In number 6, we have a prefix on the second element. So I know not to write the prefix and just to write down what it tells me. The first one is carbon, and then I have tetrachloride, so I have 4 chlorines. So it's CCl4. The prefix becomes the subscript for that element. Di and tri, I have prefixes, so I don't cross my charges, I write down what it says. Di is 2. 2 phosphorus, so P2. Trisulfide, 3 sulfurs, S3. 8, 9, and 10 all have the word acid, so I know to cross my charges and that all acids start with hydrogen. Hydrogen in group 1 has a charge of +1. Because it says hydro in number 8, I know that it's a binary acid, so I need my other element, nitrogen. Nitrogen is in group 15, so it's a -3 charge, and I cross my charges, and it's H3N. In 9 and 10, I don't have the prefix hydro, so I know it's an oxyacid. I look on page 224 or at my list of polyatomics. Ic would change back to 8, so carbonate. Crossing charges with hydrogen. The 2 would come down, the 1 would come down, and I would have H2CO3. Chlorous acid. Us changes back to ite, so chlorite. You would have hydrogen and ClO2 minus. cross your charges, HClO2, chlorous acid.